finding her bracelet. Coral blue distant, drawing my gaze downwards. Its silvery hue, dance, rays, pinky hue as frog width. Dots lay abandoned in the morning dew, raindrops glancing down its edges. Looking left to right, I bend slowly to retrieve an object, with an inbuilt fear and stumbling stupidity. Possibly it may only be a trick of the light, or a silver inner shell of a cigarette box. Touching the object to discover its solid form between the bell table and the leader. And she rushed in exaltation and colourful performance, caught its clasp on dangling silken scarf, dropped in the midnight breeze, conjuring up an image of a cornflower blue, turning mauve-haired grandmother, carelessly oblivious to her loss. Thank you.
Okay, it's 9/11 week, leading up to 9/11, and these couple of poems head obliquely that way, kind of thing. First one is called Dissonance. Drawn by dissonance, I moved outdoors. A host of starlings converged on Casey's field. The laurel, the holly, telephone wires shimmered in speckled luminance. From the white-horn hedge emerged settled tribes. Robins, thrushes, blackbirds scurried in mass to bare-branched battlements. Across Dara's scrawny bog echo the taunts, the jibes, the mocking mimicry. 'Tis mine, it's not. 'Tis mine, it's not. I retreated indoors to scenes from Mesopotamia and Iraq. Across the stitches and deserts, we echo the taunts, the jibes, the mocking mimicry. It's mine. 'Tis not. It's mine. 'Tis not. Ancient chants beguile the common instinct of burdened man. Our past once more becomes our present, but man learns nothing. There is no death in Dara. The second poem is called Prayer. One wonders whence the power of prayer, with words intoned in sing-song drawl, divide of timbre, light and shade, or whispered low in vapid rote. And yet one knows the spur of prayer, the comfort of the coterie, snug blanket of the flock, solace of unquestioned faith, contentment at the end. But there we weigh the price of prayer, the cost of all its goaded wars, crusades, fatwas, bombs and stones, blind allegiance to parrot words, meaning lost on those who try to understand. Thank you.
Miss Barney, flowers, frocks and frills, it's called. Break a leg, Betty. I went to Lourdes there in the 90s and I was looking for a statue of Our Lady to bring back to Limerick for a grotto, and we tried every place. We couldn't find. I wanted the actual one that looked like the lady in the grotto, so this is the Madonna. The Madonna. On the last day of the pilgrimage, we crossed the bridge for the last time, hunted high and low through the busy town of Lourdes. In shops, street stalls, even the marketplace, furthest from its centre, we searched for the Madonna of the grotto. I sent my thoughts to the cosmos, visualized her a silhouette of white robes with powder blue girdle. Our worn out feet ached, so we paused at the last souvenir shop. And there upon the corner shelf, beside the Sacred Heart, the Madonna radiated an energy that fueled the fire within me. I searched my pockets and purse for change, scraped every last franc I could find to make the purchase. And in broken English, the shopkeeper said, "This, the last one you will forever have, is unbreakable. Mercy?"
Now with an image of a certain gentleman, a certain virgin gentleman in his birthday suit on iPad. Great image. They say a dog is a man's best friend, but who loves him the most, his wife or his dog? And how do you know? How do you find out? Well, you lock both of them in the boot of your car. You come back in an hour and you open the boot and see who gives you the biggest welcome. I got that email during the week, so I said I'd share it with you. Tonight's poem is called Matty Murphy, and I sort wanted to get a message in town one evening, so I said I'd wait outside the shop for her. And while I was, I saw this old man coming down the street and he checking out the bins and all that. So this is called Matty Murphy. His name is Matty Murphy. They say he's a simpleton. I think they may be wrong. He's just battered black and blue from the heartaches of life. You will see him on the street with his faithful dog, with such a noble name, Alexander the Great. But he answers to refuge, as in refuge sack. And as they move along, they check each bin for treasures unwanted by you and I. Half creamy bun, a tasty treat for man or beast. 2 cider cans, when drained of their last drop, add to his scrap heap. An old frying pan will fry up those accompanying sausages, just grand and pure. And yesterday's newspapers, warm and dry, as warm as any quilt that you could buy on sale in Debonairs. And then in the evening, on a high stool in this boggy dew, caressing his pint of plain with a frothy head, shunned by the clientele as they sip their gin and tonics, discussing the important issues of the day. But as his mind lubricates, he begins to sing such melancholy melodies. And then they realize that he's no simpleton. He's just battered black and blue from the heartaches of life. Thank you.
I would like to read a poem for my the guest reader tonight, my heart sister Pauline Fane. I wrote it for her birthday one year when I was very unhappy and living up in Oma, County Tyrone. And this, I was wondering what, I was looking out shops wondering what I would buy Pauline for her birthday. And suddenly this poem came to me. So I'll read this. It's called Her Own Society. Her Own Society for Pauline Fane. Do you remember the postcard from Emily Dickinson's house that I sent you all those years ago? My mind travels backwards and I see the tassel hem's coverlet, a pillowcase edged with lace, pages scattered on a bed, a crust of rust on a nib, ink stabs wounding the spaces between her words and heart, given to a clergyman whom she met in Philadelphia when she was just 24. A chaste kiss on her hand, blighted hopes of anything, her platonic regard, yet her words of words. made him immortal, not squandered after passion spent. Do I hear the echo of footfalls, tapping iambic meters on the plain maple floor before she steps through an open door? A recluse on 15 acres of meadows and woodlands replenished by Massachusetts rain. Is it the trick of a light, or do I see her shadow garbed in white, always white, veil, shawl, high-buttoned gloves, holding an armful of lilies, her bridal gift for the risen Christ? Thank you.
I'll read it to you. It's called Unfolding. Take kindly that stranger you pass by in the street. His is a tale only he can truly tell. Admire for one moment that heroism, the bravery of that silver-haired lady who rocks back and forth with golden memories of a maternity. Feel the rain come from hollow azure skies. See the flowers, how they grow, by the window where the newborn infant cries. That's wonderful. This is an old poem. I read it before, but I think I read it a bit too quick, like I did that poem there. I'm going to try and read this really slow. I'm paying for all your taxes home tonight, so it's okay. Whispers of wind along the haunted moors, where sounds of old echo the musty tales of yesterlore, of shadows cast in silhouettes like a memory endlessly retold, serrated tears brought to the darkest chambers, abode of all fear. Mournfully wandering with hoofs earthly prodding, the musk deer clears the misty heather. By way of a shrouded path of mossy cobbles, O seasons past, there is a crystalline shore that flows as a lucid rain. The stars, though dim, break the bleak October sky with their brown leaves in heavenly glide through the forlorn foggy air. Like a game of chess with death, it's a bit hardcore. The night always wins. Memories here are held in a place in the air. They swim and whisper winter's ever-something. Thank you.
Magazine in Listowel, that's the first cut, and Pauline is in it. She's our featured poet this month, and the poem that Teri read so well there about dedicated to Pauline is in it this month as well. So if you look up ISSW and look up the first cut, and that's the magazine, I'd like to just publicise that. Well, supposing you could look into the future, and if you had a little magical binoculars that you could look into the future. I was given a family memento, and I just put this together on it. Magical binoculars. Ornamental binoculars left me by my dad. Family heirloom, rescued from greedy relatives. Views of paradise, lovebirds, abundant fruit. Early on, I realized their magical powers. By adjusting your focus, you were transported to another space and time. If you looked the wrong way, people who had a high opinion were quickly brought down to size. If only I'd known then their powers to see the future, we'd know what baby clothes to buy, order family albums to size, friends to keep, funerals to avoid, always have a feeling of belonging. But the casing is damaged, the lenses are scratched, from generations handling in the past. Someday I will hand them on, and you can keep these binoculars. I won't need them anymore, not where I'm going.